You! The EM rifle, grab it!
That's it!
Now!
With everything you've got! Stop! We're trying to
What?
help you!
Please! I can't stop!
Equip the EM weapon. Why? Okay. Incapacitate the attackers.
Take him down.
Okay, you seem to be bulletproof.
Damn, I was just getting warmed up.
Why was I shooting a bunch of... There, you're down. I assume they want me to just get them on the ground, like those guys. And then you. There, I incapacitated them, I guess. Kind of confused. Quests. Incapacitate the attackers. So this is part of this quest line. Is that I have to incapacitate these two. Which apparently I did not do. So let's just keep shooting them. Until they count as incapacitated.
I guess they ran away.
There. They are incapacitated. Alright. Now we have to assess the situation. What on earth is going on? Because I'm super confused.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting. I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Uh-huh. So... Terramorphs are going to be infecting people, so they turn and attack me. And I'm gonna kill the Terramorph and not kill the people. Sounds like we need to hustle. Someone comes at me, I'm putting them down. Are you suggesting Terramorphs can control someone's mind? So does this mean we need to worry about you turning on me? Yeah, so does this mean I need to worry about you turning on me?
I honestly was just wondering the same thing. But no, you don't need to worry about me. I've had a Terramorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible. So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there.
Convenient. So they can control someone's mind?
I'm not suggesting. It's documented behavior. The result of the projection, though, can vary wildly. Some folks just shrug it off. Others hallucinate. And some lose control altogether. They'll lash out at anyone around them, but still be aware while they're doing it. Those cases, you'll either need to knock them out with EM fire, or free them by killing the Terramorph.
Okay, sounds like we need to hustle.
Let's do it.
Matt's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
So, if someone is using this as a means to get access to the archive, as I theorized, I'm halfway thinking it's her. That she's intentionally brought the Terramorph to the planet she was on, she's intentionally brought Terramorphs here, that she knows how to secretly move them around to get this activity to happen as she intends. Because it arriving here as soon as we do, like the Terramorph attack, seems odd timing. Without assuming someone's intentionally, flying them around. And so far she's been on each planet, so I blame her.
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move.
Okay, I'm allowed to use my real weapon now. Which one was I using? It was you. Yes? Yes.
District. All citizens
Yes.
are required to proceed to the
I know that, Zoom. Okay.
You might back up. Don't just stand there. Good.
Pity things had to end like this.
Right there! Kill it!
Well. Good materials.
Experts? We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, barely holding our perimeter.
Okay.
They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more money. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
So it was doing something to my screen, and they were saying, Captain, you've got to stay in control, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't notice any obvious changes to me.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with Terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
I want you watching our backs. We'll handle this. You two stay put. Are you sure you're not going to turn on us out there? That's the real question.
We're not afraid, but we'll stay here and hold the line if that's what you want. You're the experts.
I suspect, yeah, okay, so you're saying that she might have brought them here unintentionally? It's possible. I suspect if I have them watching our backs, at some point they'll turn on us. I'll deal with it.
Roger that. We're on you. Ain't getting all worked up over nothing.
With that being the case, let's grab this gun that apparently knocks people out but doesn't kill them, I guess. And we'll favorite it to spot number 2. So number 1 is our good gun. Number 2 will be the one for taking down friendlies.
Security scanners, chemical sniffers. United Colonies sure isn't taking any chances.
So we've got, is there 2 of them then? One up there and one way out there, maybe? Yep.
Trust me. Alone.
Wow. That is a lot of shaky screen.
Marines! I want that target down now!
Stop hiding. crit on its head. Yeah, so it's blurred my screen. Oh.
Give up now.
Yeah, so I've been taken over. But I still have enough control to focus on killing it. Okay. And the fire team is still on our side. One more, presumably. Hopefully my ship's not here burning or something. Oh dear. What are you doing right up next to it? And let me loot that corpse as well.
We should go tell the sergeant what happened. It's over. Thank God.
Okay.
If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Yep, but I'm good at taking down terramorphs. Just with a handgun. No turrets needed. Alright, your experts have solved your problem.
Heavens, you're back in one piece. Well, I guess our people weren't so lucky.
Did they die? Their sacrifices weren't in vain. The city's safe now. Don't worry, we're going to get to the bottom of what happened here today. It's what they signed up for. Not my fault they couldn't hack it. Ouch. The sacrifice wasn't in vain. The city's safe now.
The few protecting the many.
And it would have been plenty more if it hadn't been for the two of you.
The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right time. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Okay, so now we gotta report back that we have solved their terramorph problem.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain.
I've always liked that statue. It's beautiful, isn't it?
I'm gonna grab both of those.
The artist was trying to represent.
Man, so this is the second time there's been a big conflict just right here and up to the spaceport. Because there was the main quest
I've flown across
when...
most of the settled systems and all manners of spacecraft, and yet I still get sick on the gnat.
Yeah, so when the Starborn came and fought us as we ran our way through here, and a bunch of people were shot up and everything went into security mode, and then again now, like a week later, like I feel bad for the people who live here. They just have to keep dealing with this. Alright. Let's go talk to the President. Feel bad for the people near you? I mean, there's that too. A lot of bad stuff keeps happening to me and therefore the people around me.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe we have some things we should discuss.
Yeah.
You've got the cabinet's full backing to prevent more attacks. Understand?
Just feels too convenient that an attack happened in the middle of our discussion. That's all I'm saying.
Captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Agreed, thank you. Better late than never, I suppose. I take my gratitude in credits, real estate, or luxury goods. Now, agreed, thank you.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
Sure. Since I'm already a Freestar Ranger, Freestar Ranger, that should be easy with them. I don't know anything about House Varun, though. You're sure that's the wisest course of action? Yeah, attack stopped because she got what she wanted. Yeah, that's... Again, I'm still thinking Hadrian is the villain. It would fit super easily. I can't be a representative. I'm just some Vanguard nobody. Tell me what I'm getting first and I'll consider it. Me? Why not send a diplomat, someone trained for this sort of thing? That's the real question.
The Cabinet wants progress, and wants it quickly. You're already far more familiar with the situation than any diplomat would be. There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of Terramorphs off the embassy doorsteps. The Cabinet was unanimous. They want you.
I mean, again, the knowledge I have is very limited and could easily be taught to a diplomat. Granted, the diplomat didn't help fight off the attack, but still, diplomats are trained for this. But sure, if you're sure that's the wisest course of action, I'll be your diplomat.
In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
You can count on me, ma'am. Let me think about it. What do I get for being a UC citizen?
It has its perks. Only citizens can purchase property in the city. We also pay reduced prices on most goods and services across the UC. There's also a credit disbursement when you first join. Help get you on your feet. But above all, you'd become a dedicated part of the greatest faction in the galaxy. If you're willing to help us, we can open that door.
So, cheaper prices and you can own property. You can count on me, ma'am.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together for that data.
Okay. Yeah, so I have valuable information that no one else knows about these creatures. I'm good with the trigger, and I know to aim for the center of mass. You are correct.
We're counting on you, Captain.
Those are important things that no one else knows.
These orders. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require.
Hey.
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the Cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. What else is the UC hoping I will grab out besides the Terramorph data? Because that's an interesting statement. Let's pretend I don't have the slightest idea, or the repositories for all banned data from the Colony War. Yeah.
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players.
Yes.
Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
You'd think they'd be clamoring to help after the spaceport attack. No problem, I'm just going to need some electrodes, a tooth extractor, and some sodium pentothal. Sure. No. It sure doesn't sound easy, or what can you tell me about these codes? Can we forge them? She's not going to like that question. But I'm asking it anyway.
Each is a strip of several million random numbers generated on the fly based on biometric keys kept by each of the ambassadors on their person at all times. They're impossible to create without those keys, and those keys stay with the ambassadors, meaning we're accessing nothing if we can't get them on our side.
Okay. You'd think they'd be clamoring to help after the spaceport attack.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun?
Let's go with Freestar Collective, because I know a lot more about them. Yeah, my brain sort of shut off. Balmore made me think of Balmora from Morrowind, obviously also another Bethesda game. And I was like, is this supposed to be some sort of nod? Because Morrowind also had various houses. I'm just wondering if this is a nod towards their Morrowind game in any sort of way. But I don't know. Yes. We'll start with the Freestar Collective.
The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
Fun.
If Sam is any example of how stubborn the Freestar people can be, then I can imagine how difficult it must be dealing with this ambassador.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Alright, tell me about these other tools then. No one can be that stubborn. New Atlantis was just attacked. I think you're underestimating how delightful I am. Alright, tell me about the other tools.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Okay, that's all the info I need for the moment on Ambassador Radcliffe. Any other things I should avoid doing inside the embassy, or what can you tell me about this staff member?
Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Radcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life. And someone who very likely hates her guts.
Any other things I should avoid doing inside the embassy?
Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm anyone. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises.
All right, that's the info I need for the moment on Ambassador Radcliffe.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
10,000 credits. Nice. Isn't that... Oh, tell me about it again. No. Well, I'll start there, and then I'll come back to talk to you about House Varun. Unless... Okay, apparently I need to talk to you about both before I can actually take off and do anything. Yeah. Weird. Okay. Never mind. Tell me about House Varun.
Captain, would you like to finish your briefing on the ambassadors?
Apparently. Tell me about Ambassador Balmor of House Varun.
Ambassador Balmor's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmor stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
So we don't actually really know anything about House Varun. So I would be excited to learn a bit more. That actually sounds pretty promising. I'm sure you can be reasoned with. House Varun are people just like us. No argument here. House Varun seem like nothing but a bunch of madmen. Why? What's wrong with House Varun?
Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Varun Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Varun did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations. But then, without warning, they left, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice.
Huh. Well, hopefully we can talk to him.
It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmor is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
Unless he's dead. I'll track him down. Here's hoping we're not chasing a corpse. What kind of life signs did you detect in the embassy? Wait, no one has actually been inside the embassy, or what do I do if he's dead?
Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
So you're saying that collecting the keys off of corpses is good enough? I'm just asking because of the Freestar Collective, if they're that problematic. No one's actually been inside the embassy?
The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out.
Okay. What life signs did you detect in the embassy?
The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador.
Odd. Well, I'll track him down.
I have no doubt.
Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here. This device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Fun.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Okay. So now that I've gotten the rundown, they are pointing me only to the Freestar Collective, so it's not necessarily a suggestion, they're just saying, no, that's the one you gotta do first. Out of curiosity, do you have anything to say?
Captain, Admiral Logan informed me of your part in halting the attacks. Whole damn city owes you. Now, what do you need?
Can you tell me more about this United Colonies System Defense Group?
You can just call them SysDef. Everyone else does. They're the division responsible for combating the Crimson Fleet.
Oh, okay.
Fighting pirates.
It's about that quest.
It's not a small job, keeping the galaxy's mercantile class safe from death and dismemberment, so they're constantly undermanned. They work out of the ship, the UC Vigilance. Though the support request was a little vague on what your actual duties would be if you decided you want to lend a hand.
Okay. Well, thanks. I'm not getting on the transit. Where am I heading to then? Unless the embassy is just here on planet. Which I suppose it could be. But yeah, everyone seems to be getting along and things are fine here. No one's freaking out over the Terramorph attack.
Stop for a moment at the memorial. You know, to pay our respects.
Memorial?
You our visitor?
Yes.
You'll find the ambassador in her office. Go on through.
So is this pointing me to the person I'm supposed to talk to? Hopefully get them on our side.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices, or conference room.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
Maybe I should have brought Sam.
Terramorphs, as in more than one? All that security, and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint.
Harsh.
Just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Of course.
You're allowed. I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment?
Sure. I'm here on behalf of the United Colonies. We need the Freestar Collective's help. Captain Ryan, UC Vanguard. You and I need to talk, Ambassador. You seem like a lady who wants to stop more Terramorph attacks. Well, have I got a deal for you? Sure. Yeah, I'll just be upfront. I'm here on behalf of the United Colonies.
Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants Terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all.
Yeah.
I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
You heard correctly. We need access to the archives. You need to help us, otherwise any more deaths are on your hands. Nope, they sent me to to beg. Please, please, pretty please. You heard correct. We need access to the archives.
I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go?
Persuade. Please, Ambassador, just listen to what I have to say. Fine, I'll just figure this out some other way. Are you serious? There was just an attack on the city. You're really not going to help us? I'm going to use this option, but I hope it'll give me the option to persuade afterwards.
No, Captain, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. What you experienced down there at the spaceport, I've lived that once before already. Fought tooth and nail as aliens rampaged in the streets of my home and others all throughout the Collective. But my aliens were placed there by UC hands. So I'm not interested in anyone getting power like that ever again. The UC most of all.
What if I told you the Terramorphs couldn't be weaponized? Would that change your mind?
You have my answer. Now please take the hint.
Persuade. Just listen to what I have to say.
You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood.
Sure. But I have saves, so I have infinite chances. Thank you, Ambassador. Just hear me out.
I'm listening.
So I've got to get 8 pips in 3 turns. Are you willing to risk more deaths? Because that's what you're doing by not helping us. What happened here and in Londinian could happen in the Freestar Collective unless you help us. I know you've got it in you to do what's right. We'll go with what happened here and in Londinian could happen in the Freestar Collective unless you help us.
Londinian. They had to abandon the planet. But that couldn't happen again.
Of course it could. Do we want to go with the easy +3 or the medium +3? The Terramorph Xenoweapons project was a failure. That knowledge isn't dangerous. There are lives at stake here, or I know you've got what it in you to do what's right. Terramorph project was a failure.
The warmongers of the UC will find a way to make it dangerous. You have my word.
Darn, now I gotta get 4 points, which means I've got to use this +5. Be the person the galaxy needs, Ambassador.
You're not gonna flatter me into acting against the Freestar Collective's best interest. Captain, I'm sorry, but my answer is not changing. The UC is just gonna have to find another way. Now, I presume you can see yourself out.
Okay, so optional read FC Embassy Security Slate. Optional speak to... Don't go away, I was reading you. Speak to the Freestar Embassy staffer and access the UC listening device. Well, I would like to do all of those. So that's the guy to talk to. Making sure this isn't a... You can't go in. It's still further that way. So how would I get back there? Obviously not through there, so it must have to be through here. That's a difficult ask to get there. We've done another quick save. You don't see me. Yep, just head out there. Okay. Which of these only works in the outer layer? You. Okay. So we'll want to use that. And then... you. So any's that now only work in this layer. You. Okay. You'll work there. And only there. Okay. You're not going to work. We need it more angled. So might need to use this and one of our singles. Which means I'm running out of good flexible options to use now. Which isn't ideal. So that would need another single and we're out of those. Oh yeah, we don't have anything that we need. This has 5 pins, so if I used one of our 3s, then I'd still need a 2, and we don't have any 2s. So I'd need something that has 5 pins, and there aren't any. So no, I've already failed this. It's rifle time. W2F, I think I would just reload. I mean, I could. But I kind of want to see, because I think if I succeed, then this mission part is just done. Like, you're supposed to not succeed on that persuasion. Okay, you could work. Oh, yep, you just finished that. Okay, if we do here, then this one, good. There and there. And you. Much easier that time.
Easy money.
Agent detected. Patching in playback.
Sarah, are you actually taking a nap while we are breaking and entering? Seriously? Seriously. Hey. You guys didn't see anything. Where was that other guy I was supposed to talk to? Or did that just kill all the other options? Oh. Nope, apparently you just choose one option and that kills off all your others. Alright.
Did I not make myself abundantly clear, Captain? You're not getting access to the archives.
I know of your plan to replace someone on the Council of Governors.
Excuse me? I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's evidence. I imagine bad things would happen if your boss is found out. UC is more powerful than you can imagine. We know all of your secrets. Don't play dumb, Ambassador. It's embarrassing. Yeah, I imagine bad things would happen if your boss is found out.
No. If the Council found out, I'd lose my position. I'd be exiled. I'd be...
Oh, darn.
I believe we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. The issue at hand is one of trust, no? So perhaps if I can trust you to keep this little secret between us, then maybe we can find a way to trust the UC with access to the archives.
Of course. You got yourself a deal? Fine, but I want you to beg me not to turn you in? Harsh. You call that a negotiation without even offering me a gift? I'm gonna take some time to think about it. I'm not gonna ask for a bribe or her to beg. You got yourself a deal.
Good. Good. I appreciate you working with me. Just like I'm sure our great powers will. In fact, I think there's an opportunity here. Keep both our factions happy and ensure an air of legitimacy to the whole proceeding. I can only let you get the information on the terramorphs. Anything else and people will get suspicious. And all research will need to be monitored. Freestar scientific observers making sure everything's being used for the right purposes. But those 2 items should be enough to allay any suspicions.
Should be fine. I can agree to those terms. That plus my negotiation fee seems like it should all work out just great. Pass, you're in no position to bargain right now. No, I'm fine with those terms.
Good. Good. Okay. Let's go get you your access.
Mainly because if someone is trying to get into the archive for whatever reason, having extra eyes to verify that no, we're only grabbing the terramorph data and not using it for any nefarious purpose is good.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there.
Okay.
Here you go. It's not supposed to be a long process. It is for emergencies, after all.
Okay, now let's acquire the House Varun key. Out this way. So yeah, that was pretty easy. Wish I'd succeeded at the persuasion, because I am trying to work on that skill, but oh well. It wasn't challenging. The fact that right next to her you can... oh, you missed the last bit? So yeah, right next to her, we crouched down, picked the lock to the door behind her, and then walked over to the planter box where the recording device was, listened to it, and it was a recording of her talking to her aides saying, hey, we should kill off one of the people in the chair because they keep saying I can't join their main council because all the seats are full. And she wants a seat on their council. And the aide was just like, no, don't do that. So we confronted her with the fact that she's trying to plot murder to further her career. And she was like, maybe we should just not have you say anything and I'll get you the info you want. Meanwhile, while we were stealthing through her house to get that information, Sarah Morgan, my follower, decided to take a nap on her bed. Just in the middle of our stealth mission, because that's what you do in a stealth mission. But yeah, after we got that information, we talked to her, and she was fairly accommodating at that point. Just didn't want us to spread her secrets to her boss.